I'm going to check out some Bubble updates today. You probably know that Bubble, or specifically Josh, puts out a monthly update about what Bubble is focusing on. I always like to check in with that and see what's on at top of mind at Bubble, what kind of decisions they're making. Um, and KP also published an article around how to grow a Twitter following, which I'm interested to read. 0 to 3,000 followers. KP has like 30 or 40,000 last time I checked. So he's doing pretty well on Twitter. I recall a conversation that I had with him where he said that social media, like there's no cross pollination between platforms. So just because he's got a large audience on Twitter, he's still starting from zero on YouTube. So I'm, like it's something interesting. I don't know, like the methods in which you gain viewers and followers and subscribers are all different on the different platforms. So I want to see what he has to say about that. I feel like it's going to be some good info. KP always puts out good content and useful, actionable information. So I'll check that out too. But let's kick off with Bubble, see how far we get here, and see if we can't learn something. All right, this is our November community update. The highlight of October was flying the whole team to New York City to work in person from our Manhattan office. It was fantastic to meet everyone. We've been collaborating with virtually and spent the day time doing a lot of brainstorming, long-term project planning, and that's easier to do face-to-face. We had a discussion around almost every aspect of our business, and coming out of it, we have a lot of energy and new ideas that we're looking forward to. I just want to say that I really appreciate these updates. It's not often, I think, that you see such a real, like it's not like glossy or like the nice beautiful things that are happening. It's a very like real insight into what's going on in the company. So I always actually look forward to these updates to see what's going on. It's not a lot of times like the all hands calls or I don't know, monthly check-ins and things. They're just kind of like check the box things, but I do actually gain some useful information from these posts. So I appreciate that, and I hope they keep doing it. I hope Josh keeps doing this as the as Bubble grows. As part of that, where was I? As part of that week, we also hosted community meetup in our NYC-based users. Anyone else who could make it, we've had at least one person fly in from Canada to attend. I actually attended this. It was in Greenpoint here in Brooklyn. It was pretty fun. I met a lot of people that I knew online, and I met them in person. It was actually funny. There was one dude there who was somebody that I've helped in Bubble, and I got to meet him in person. I didn't even know he was going, so it was cool to just meet everybody that we see the pictures on LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff, but that was fun. Turnout was great with 60 plus folks showing up, and we had a lot of fun meeting all face to face. Thanks to everyone who came. The venue was personally significant to Emmanuel and me. It was the bar downstairs from the Bubble office we worked at after graduating from renting desks in larger spaces. So it seems like they have some history there. They were working out of that space for a while. And I've been going to that bar for quite some years, actually. I have a few. I used to work in Greenpoint, the Greenpoint YMCA. And I used to go to that bar and a few coworkers and stuff. So it's been a while since I've been over there. Another highlight this month was the launch of an official Microsoft Clarity plugin, which is a fantastic tool for entrepreneurs and product owners to get visibility into how users are interacting with their Bubble apps. I don't know what Microsoft Clarity is. I want to know a little bit more about that. Microsoft Clarity and Bubble behavioral analytics for optimized no-code. Discover the power in Bubble's newest integration with Microsoft Clarity, a free, easy-to-use tool that captures how real people actually use your site. What is Microsoft Clarity? Microsoft Clarity is a software that allows you to optimize your website and web apps with ease to use behavioral analytics. Sounds like Google Analytics, right? This sounds to me like Microsoft version of Google Analytics. Clarity gives you access to advanced heat maps, screen recordings, and dashboards with all your insights in one place. Okay, so it sounds like there's a Bubble plugin that makes it easier to track what's going on in your site. I wonder how that works, though. Is it just like tracking traffic, or is it like what people are actually doing in there? I guess that's answered here. You can use the plugin to link your Bubble Built app where you can access different levels of information and insight will help you grow and scale your business. Clarity's features include session recordings, allowing you to examine user behavior as it happened. Ah, really? Wow. That's pretty impressive. You'll see where things are working smoothly and where your users drop off. Show where your user clicks and scroll. Jesus, they really get everything, huh? How they move around your site. You'll discover which parts of the page drive the most engagement and which parts get less traffic. Insights to help you make data-driven decisions to streamline your design. Zero in on relevant user sessions and root out problems like clicks that go nowhere, rage clicks, and excessive scrolling. Rage clicks, never heard that one before. Rage clicks. I know what it is, though, intuitively. I just know what rage clicks are when you're pissed off about something because it's not doing what you expect, so you click it 1,000 times. The metrics dashboard offers a visual overview of your site's performance, popular pages, and insights about your users, such as where they're from and which devices and browsers they use. Google Analytics integration that lets you view Google Analytics data right inside the Clarity dashboard. Okay, so I kind of see the difference now between this and Google Analytics. Google Analytics tells you about your traffic, where the traffic is coming from, how much traffic a particular page in your site gets. That's all very macro level, right? Like kind of like where is this coming from? But this is Clarity seems a little bit more detailed than that, and it's like where people are actually scrolling in your page, what they're doing, and I think you'll be able to make some really good decisions around what parts of your application to develop with this. So that's pretty interesting. I have to check that out. That's actually I'm gonna make a note of that, and I might check that out on the stream. Microsoft Clarity plugin in particular. All right, I'm in. You got me. All right. In hiring news, we just crossed the 100 employee mark yesterday. This month, we were excited to welcome Rudy Kylie Tenzin joining as technical product support specialist. Cool. So we've got a little bit more support going on behind the scenes for when you Google or when you email support@bubble.io. These are the names that we're probably going to start seeing. Michael joining as an account executive, Nishita, and Scott joining as product designers. As always, open roles can be found here, and we especially encourage community members with solid Bubble skills and love for helping people to join our technical support specialists. Yeah, the more technical support specialists we have, the better. Let's see what open jobs Bubble has right now. A couple engineering-based roles, marketing, sales. Ooh, they're hiring a salesperson. That's cool. I don't know. Are there any as an account executive that's a salesperson? And the technical product specialist. All right. Seems like they're all possibly to be remote. I think Bubble is like all remote now. And they just kind of fly into the office when needed. And I think every company probably is going in that direction, or almost every company, every small company anyway seems to be going that direction, because why the hell do you need the overhead of having an office space when you can just have everybody work from their home office? It seems like a logical business decision to me. I do kind of miss the office meetings at the Bubble headquarters, though. We used to go to that. They used to do events there quite often, and it was a good place to just like chat with like-minded people. So I do miss that, though. Wish they'd bring that back. Changes that were made this month. All right, getting into the meat of it here. This was a great month for planning and team building, but somewhat as a consequence, it was lighter. It was a lighter month for product updates. In addition to our usual bug fixing work, which I'm sure is never ending. And some continued tweaks to our homepage and a new user experience. We released some additional improvements to our job request page, building on the work that we announced last month. Is that the RFP stuff? Yep, that's RFPs. What did they change? It looks the same here, but maybe they're asking different questions as they go through the scope. Let's see. An option to allow plugin developers to test their plugin on Node 14 prior to the upgrade date. Yeah, something about the plugins. We saw that update where anyone who has a plugin on the plugin library store in Bubble, there's a change being made where they need to test their plugin on Node 14. I don't know what Node 14 is, but I know that there's an update that's required. It didn't require a change of the code in the plugin itself. But someone is not supporting something. Node 13, I guess, and Node 14's the update. We also published a new Getting Started video course, which is meant to be the definitive in-depth video guide for new Bubble users, replacing the older video course we had that was built years ago and out of date. So we actually, the Bubble marketing team, we had a conversation with them yesterday. And we started to talk about education and certification. And I realized that I've been kind of out of touch with the content that they've been putting out for new users, the Bubble Academy. So they may be on that, and they may be moving to just a strictly, I think the way that they're thinking about it is like if they're putting out the high quality content for new people to learn Bubble, then that's going to increase the conversions that they get to paying users. And, not as many people will be dropping off kind of because of the learning curve. So I haven't been paying too much attention to the new content that they're releasing. It's probably something that I should be looking at just to kind of know, what their focus is. But they definitely are putting a lot of energy into the Bubble Academy. So if you are new to Bubble, check that out because it's good. It's good. They're good tutorials and they're free. They're totally free. Like Bubble's just putting them out there. This month in numbers, new conversations being via bug reports, up 13.8. Average first response time to messages, 1 hour and 25 minutes. Average response time to messages, 35 minutes. Tickets closed. I guess this is how they kind of measure their customer support metrics here. Tickets closed by the engineering team. Average days closure to ticket. Average days closed. All right, down from 2.4 days. This is not something that helps me too much. I mean, obviously you want the fastest support possible, but not knowing this is not. Maybe if there was just kind of an ongoing graph, that would be easier to digest. Things on our minds coming. Jesus. I don't know. There's something going on outside. Things on our minds. Coming out of our week together in person, each team has a queue of ideas, problems, challenges, and opportunities that we're sorting through. While it's hard to pick a single theme to focus on, some of the things we talked about include evolving our design system for the editor. A new design system? Whoa. Haven't heard word of that yet. This is the first time I'm seeing that. The value proposition that we offer our customers on custom plans and ways we could make them more attractive. I don't know what a custom plan is. Maybe that's the production plan. What areas are most important to focus on to help new users learn Bubble? The state of our ecosystem, how to help agencies and freelancers. I'd like to see more about this. This is very interesting to me. I always love the when some attention is paid to the people that are using Bubble as a primary tool to build applications for and software for clients. I think there's a lot that needs to happen here. Not necessarily all from Bubble's end, but just like in general, it's very difficult to find an agency or vet, I should say. There's a lot of them, but to vet a good one that's going to deliver what you want, I think it's very difficult. So I think there's work on all sides to do from the agency freelancer perspective and making sure that ecosystem is healthy and we're not getting a bad reputation for the quality of work that we're putting out. There needs to be some standards put in place there. What investments would we want to make in our technology, and what those investments would unlock in terms of performance, security, and compliance, team productivity, and achieving a global infrastructure, among many others. The long and short of it is we have a lot of work ahead of us on all kinds of different dimensions. We came out this week with a renewed commitment to continue to improve our operational game as a company, because we'll need to be incredibly driven, efficient, and passionate to get through everything we want to accomplish over the next year. My reading skills are getting better. I usually sound like I'm doing a tongue twister. I can read faster now because I've been reading on the stream. All right. We were currently working on following up on our latest post about pricing. The latest post about pricing. I haven't seen a post about pricing in a while. Yeah, this is from April. The latest post. All right. That's what I thought. I was hoping I didn't miss anything. We're continuing to do a technical work on capacity and auto scaling. We are working towards an interim release that will not make any changes to the way we price Bubble. Okay, an interim release so we can kind of like see what's going on. We all recall the debacle of Bubble's hasty changing to their pricing and the backlash that happened. But we'll expose the availability to chart and manage your app's usage over time. Excuse me, so that we can start previewing what an auto-scaling usage-based approach to pricing might look instead of a hard capacity caps we have today. That's interesting. I always thought that, I don't know, I want to run this by someone else that knows Bubble. I feel like maybe the number of workflows that you run can be tied to pricing. I might be putting my own foot in my mouth because like the apps that, at least one of the app that I have runs a lot of workflows, but doesn't that seem to make sense? Like the more CRUD operations that require it impacts server capacity, and like, you know, like that would be a more of a drain on Bubble's resources. And it also kind of incentivizes you to build more efficient workflows, get rid of old ones, which kind of has the effect of, you know, learning how to build with best practice in mind, so you don't have super inefficient workflows running, only what you need. I don't know. There might be something there. I'd like to get someone else's opinion on that and see whether they think that's something that's scalable. Number of workflows seems to be something measurable and that they could tie to pricing. I don't know. I think I brought that up to them once. Other ongoing work streams. Our new component system is almost done. We're testing it out with some of our new users to see if it speeds up the creation. Stay tuned for more announcements. So this is what they're referring to here is like almost like what Frames and Atomic Fusion has done, where there's this component library that you can just add to the page. Very handy, especially if you're newer. And even if you're not newer, it just saves some time to be able to drag and drop like a repeating group of orders onto a page that, like, you know, satisfies like a lot of use cases. You could just drop that on the page and modify it quickly. So they took some initiative on that, and it sounds like they're going to be releasing it soon. Kind of, it's weird. I don't know how to feel about the people that have like put the work into to build those tools already, like Atomic Fusion and Frames. In particular, Frames seems more similar to the components library that Bubble is releasing. Atomic Fusion is a little bit more involved. It just seems like there's more styling to Atomic Fusion, and there's so much diversity. But the Frames is particularly concerned with like the components that you can add to the page to make the builder's experience a little bit easier. And I wonder if Gregory John is happy or upset. Gregory John is the dude that created Frames along with his partner. And I wonder if that like helps or hurts what they've put out there. You know, like they put all that effort into building this Chrome extension and that component library, and then Bubble comes out and releases it I can't imagine that that's good, right? For what they've created, or does it just supplement it? I don't know. I don't know. We're working on an extension to the font and color variable feature we recently released to allow the user to define their own variables. Thank you for bringing the color palette back, by the way. I was very upset that the color palette went away. I didn't speak up. I didn't send the feedback like I should have, but I was upset when it went away and really happy when it came back. Our work on an improved version control interface continues. We're still doing development work and hope to have some exciting updates soon. This is definitely something an area that needs improvement. I've been working in multiple versions for a while now, and my biggest problem with working, like the way that Bubble branches the different versions, is that it creates these phantom issues. Like all of a sudden, if you like, say I create, you've got the development version. And well, let me explain that from the beginning, right? The Bubble enables you to create multiple versions of the app, not a duplicate, multiple development environments within the same application. So with that, you can then, theoretically, multiple people can be working on different parts of the app at the same time without affecting each other's work, and then merge them together once everything is, the way that they want it. So in theory, it's supposed to save you some time, and you can have multiple developers working in there at the same time. But in practice, it creates kind of issues. But it creates issues, like actual like issues, like when you see the red like 12 issues to resolve. Like it shows issues even though there aren't any real issues in that version. It might be related to the other version, and I'm seeing that pretty consistently. So I've stopped using the different versioning, that functionality, or I'll do a little bit of work and then just duplicate the app completely, so I have that work that I can refer back to, and then just recreate it in the original production version. But it's just, yeah, it's not been the most easiest to work with. And then the merge is kind of scary. The merge is terrifying. It's not kind of scary. It's fucking terrifying. I'm scared that I'm gonna lose work when we've done the merge in the past, and it's just really scary. Like, well, what is? But I will say, even though that is scary, that part of it has actually been stable. I've never like had the changes override the wrong changes override the correct ones, right? So it gives you kind of an option to select, like, oh, do you want changes from this version or this version? And you kind of just tick off the right one. So it's scary. It's scary to do because of, I think, more cause of the phantom issues that happen. But actually, in fairness, when I'm actually merging the two versions together, it has been stable in the past. So that's my experience with it. It's more like I actually think it's more not cosmetic, but it works better than we think. It's just those issues that come up that scare the hell out of everybody. For the overhaul of our network architecture and infrastructure, we have made some behind-the-scenes changes to our credentials and configuration management, and are working on changes to deploy to our system. Our push to migrate off CoffeeScript continues. I would love for somebody to explain to me what this means. I've looked it up. I've looked up CoffeeScript. I don't know what CoffeeScript is, and I don't know why we're moving off of it. It seems to have been an ongoing goal for Bubble for quite a while now, down to 9.8%. TypeScript is up 5.5%, with the remainder being JavaScript. All right, so I guess it's the code base is 9.8%, about 10% CoffeeScript, 6% TypeScript, and about 85% JavaScript. I don't know the origins of, like, did they first code it in CoffeeScript? And why is that bad? Why are they moving off of it? I don't understand that. We are bumping up to the priority of this work with hope of getting it done, getting through it, and onto technical improvements that are enabled by it. All right. I've been quite excited about the new component system for a few months, and I'm getting quite excited. Would you give us an idea of what it is? Pre-built UI elements. Yeah, that was my experience with it too. All right, so those are the Bubble November updates. Nothing terribly concerning or new releases. It's just, it's nice to see that they're staying consistent. I think probably the biggest thing for me that I want to check out is the Clarity, Microsoft Clarity, and how I can implement that in some of my Bubble applications. That seems pretty interesting. It seems like I can get a lot of insight from that and make some smart decisions on which areas to focus on. So that's probably what the actionable thing that I'm gonna take away from this particular post. All right, now let's switch gears a little bit. Something not really related to no code, or something not really related to Bubble in particular, but a lot of bubblers and no code enthusiasts seem to be on Twitter. We're all just there. In fact, I think that the Bubble forum is really migrated to Twitter. I can get my questions answered a lot faster on Twitter than I can on the Bubble forum. So if you're new to Bubble, Twitter is where it's at. That's where we all live. That's all where we kind of have friends and have conversations. There's people refer business to you. So if you're not on Twitter and you're using Bubble, you should get on Twitter, because there's a lot of stuff going on there. All the information that I get, like news and new products that are dropping, it comes off of Twitter. So it's really an active community. And I always thought that being on Twitter and social media was going to be a negative experience, but it seems to me like it's really what you put out there and what you click on and that will cultivate your feed. If you're clicking on like negative wild shit, that's what's going to show up in your feed. But all I post about is no code stuff and Bubble and like starting business, like being an entrepreneur and that kind of stuff. And that's all that shows up in my feed. So I'm not scared of that anymore. All right, let's see what KP has to say about growing from 0 to 3,000 followers on Twitter. For the record, I have, I think, 1,700 followers, 1,710 at the moment. And let's see, I'm not overly concerned with growing my Twitter audience. I mean, I guess it would be cool, but, like it's not really top priority for me. But I do want to see, like, if I needed to grow it, like how does one do that? I just don't know. A few days ago, one of my followers, Marco, asked me this question in the DM. Hey, KP, I have less than 300 followers. I am on the path to building 3,000. What would you recommend? Do you have any models that you might point me to? Many thanks. I figured there's a lot. There are many others out like him who are curious but learn about my approach. So in this edition, that's what I plan to answer. All right, let's see. Here are 8 effective methods to build a 3,000 audience on Twitter. Write 10 tweets a day. Oh my God, already that sounds exhausting. In the early stages of building an audience, most people suffer from their own limitations. The biggest one is not taking enough shots at the goal. If you don't write a lot and stretch your creative muscles daily, you won't learn the nuances and mechanics of tweets. Just like push-ups in the gym or taking free throws in basketball early on, you just have to create more before you even begin the conversation of what's working and what's not. Okay, I can kind of get behind that. Like, more shots on goal is going to increase the likelihood of you, understanding what you need to do and who your audience is and what kind of content you want to put out there. Struggling to come up with 10 ideas a day. Yeah, I mean, that would be my first kind of objection to this. Like, how the hell do you, I don't know how I would come up with 10 tweets a day. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, right? 12 tweet templates to put an end to your Twitter's writer block. It's impossible to build in public constantly and not hit a wall writing block. So here's my fix for you. Let's see what he's got to say here. Most people approach building in public as a one-time crash diet. They create 2 to 3 tweets daily for like 2 to 3 weeks and think, well, where are my results? Or I must suck so bad because no one seems to respond, engage with my content. I feel like that some days. Yeah, absolutely. But really, it's more like a lifestyle, like being a vegan or a Buddhist or being a musician. Your transformation doesn't happen overnight, and the results will definitely not show up in a rush. I've written nearly 30,000 tweets since 2018. Jesus, how many have I written? That is a lot of tweeting. I've written 1,500 since, and I started in like 2020, like November of 2020. I've written nearly 30,000 tweets in 20. I just never surpassed, and I just surpassed the 34,000 followers on Twitter. For the first 1.5 years, I had less than 1,000 followers, and yet I was pumping out tons of content and sharing my network. It's all about the reps and the sets and exercising to build in public muscles. Here's the thing, I'm not Superman. When I sit down and write, I too struggle with coming up with new ideas and tweets, but I push through. I'm sure you feel stuck sometimes. I just don't. I don't want to sit there that long and think about what the hell I want to say. It's just, it seems like times I could be doing, spending time doing something else. But over time, I found a fix to this problem without having to use willpower. Okay, interesting. You've got my attention, KP. I have come up with a document which contains a diverse section of tweet prompts to spark my imagination. I don't use these daily, but they're so handy for when I need them badly. Today, I want to share those with you for free. Here are the 12 tweet templates to inspire you. Tweet a tiny tip. Share a simple but specific tip that can help someone who might be 2 steps behind in whatever your journey you're in. I think that's good. I think that's a good thought. Tweet a shower thought. So share a what if scenario or be curious exploration about the future, about future publicity. The key is not holding back your hunch and judging yourself on how dumb it may sound. All right, so kind of like what those private thoughts that you have, just putting them kind of out there. Tweet a lesson you learned the hard way. Share a specific lesson via reflection. This is good. Yeah, this is good. Just make that lesson public so it may help one person who needs to hear it today. Tweet an open question. There are millions of people on Twitter and hundreds within your niche orbit. If ask a genuinely curious question, a lot of smart people can't resist chiming in. That is true. This is one that I've definitely experienced myself. I'll ask a genuine question that I need the answer to, and then like 10 people will come back to me and just say, "Hey, this is this is what I think." So, and I'm grateful for that. Grateful that anybody is willing to respond. But yeah, people want to kind of like, people like to share their insights in a lot of cases. But seriously, it helps to ask questions that you might be thinking because someone might have a better perspective on it than you. Learn by asking open questions. Clubhouse. Do we all remember Clubhouse? Clubhouse went crazy. For like 6 months, everyone was getting on Clubhouse. We thought it was going to be the new TikTok. I got on it. I jumped on the bandwagon with my friend Lou Abrams. Him and I were doing a chat around entrepreneurship weekly, and we did it on Clubhouse. And Clubhouse got so annoying because of how many. It was all sales, right? Like everyone was just kind of pitching their product or their idea or their mostly consulting services. And after I think like maybe we did it for 3 or 4 weeks, and after that it was just like, dude, this is enough. It was so annoying to just constantly hear these people pitching their product. There was no genuine conversation happening after a while. Like we went there because we wanted to have some honest conversations about the struggles of working in for yourself, working in your own business, building a startup, and just kind of some like keeping your head right through those processes. And we wanted to have some conversation around that, but it just turned into everyone trying to be the loudest voice in the room, trying to get the time and selling their services to other people. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Is anyone still using Clubhouse? I don't know. I'm sure there's people on there, but I just never hear, like, it's all anybody could talk about for like 6 months. It was so popular. And they had this like really creative, salesy way of like, oh yeah, you can only be invited by the other people that are already using the platform. And that made it cool. Like, oh, you had to get the invite. So it's like exclusive. but it was what do you call it? It turned into a cesspool pretty quickly. I'm curious, legitimately curious, if anyone is on Clubhouse and what their experience has been. That was mine. It was not fun. Tweet a request for a startup. This is a popular prompt I've seen from many founders and investors use. I love it too. It helps you exercise your founder muscles. Find one use case that can make your life easier and tweet about it. I don't understand this one. Tweet a request for a startup. This is a popular prompt I see many founders and investors use. I love it too. It helps you exercise your founder muscles. Find one use case that can make your life easier. Oh, like requesting that somebody else creates a startup. Got it. Okay. Kind of pointing out a pain point, I guess, is the idea here. Point out a pain point that you have and request that somebody creates that startup. It's not a bad idea. Tweet a shout out. This is such low hanging fruit. Anytime I'm stuck with a new tweet idea, think of elevating and lifting other creator instead. I get to create content by writing it. I help that person feel warm and fuzzy. Such a win-win. Yeah, I like that one. Call out someone that helped you out. Bring some attention to them. I like that. I dig that. Tweet a small win. Most people are waiting on huge milestones, months, years away, forgetting to count their blessings and small wins along the way. Make sure you are remembering to document your little victories publicly. With reference to the example below, my ego first said, KP, are you nuts? 100 subscribers on YouTube is nothing for someone with your personal brand compared to your peers. In fact, this is a failure. That's my ego talking. I still tweeted and made a video celebrating 100 subs. Cool. Tweet a hot take. Say something that goes against the popular conventional wisdom. I wouldn't recommend this too much, especially if you're using it as an attention tactic. But if you deeply believe the point of view which you gathered throughout your life experience, sure, go ahead and share it. But be open and ready to critical feedback. It's worth it because you can expand your view. Tweet a prediction. Share a bet about the future on your niche. There's a good chance that you might be right, and you'll have the tweet to look back on. And in the rare chance that you're wrong, it's okay. People make bad predictions sometimes. Better than not sharing your point of view at all. I find that like no one remembers the tweets. No, that you know what? I'm not even going to say it. That's not true. Sometimes people do remember the tweets that you send out. Twitter definitely seems to move faster than every other social media platform, though. Twitter, it's like you put something out there and it's dead in like 24 hours. Unless, you know, like the algorithm picks it up when it goes. But it's not like it's hard to find even a tweet unless you bookmark it. It's really difficult to go back and find a tweet that you thought was interesting or, you know, somebody tweeted out, because again, like if you go back to the person, if you remember who tweeted it and you go to their profile, you have to like scroll through all of their entire tweet history in order to get back to that one. And it may have been a year ago. That's going to take you a while to find. So Twitter just moves fast, like way faster than it's really hard to go back and find like an interesting tweet that someone shared, unless you bookmark it, right? I just recently found out how to bookmark it. I felt pretty stupid because I tweeted that, oh, I wish I could save tweets, and then Geo, Best Bubble Dev, he got back to me and said, yeah, you just bookmark them. Like, oh, okay. Tweet about a common myth in your niche. If you pause and reflect, you can think of at least 3 to 4 popular myths about your niche so that everyone outside seems to believe it. Sometimes even the insiders believe that. So just share your unique take and dispel the myth. Okay, so an interesting. Oh, wow, there's a lot of these. Okay, so these are. How far should I go with this? How many are there? There are 12. All right, yeah, we can finish them. Confession, tweet a thread about your tools in your niche. Confession, I have a love-hate relationship with sharing tools. On the one hand, it's actually helpful for beginners if you share which tools you use and how the newest cutting-edge tools help you do your job better. But Twitter's algorithm has turned off sharing about tools into a viral tactic. Yeah, that definitely is my experience too. Anything that I put in with a link, any linked tweets or like a video, if you attach a video to it, they seem to not go very far. That's been my experience also. And sharing tools also. Or saying something nice about a tool sometimes works, right? So I tagged Xano when I started using it in one of my tweets, and that got a little bit of attention. Like by helping those tactics, those accounts land 500 to 1,000 followers in each thread. Not sure why, but this is a relatively newer phenomenon in my experience on Twitter. For a while, I shied away from creating threads on tools because everyone is doing it and doing it poorly. Recently, I realized that there was a puritanical perspective, similar to saying, I don't want to become a founder because everyone is becoming one. The better approach is to do what you love and share what you believe in. Leverage the algorithms, Kirks, while sticking to your niche. Tweet a thread about a helpful, detailed playbook, how-to, share examples, how-to guides as a thread to help people achieve X or Y outcome. The closer this thread is to your area of expertise, the better your reception will be. All right. So, I mean, these definitely, hopefully these trigger some ideas. All right. I don't know if I really want to start tweeting more. It does. I mean, there is definitely a way, like business referrals come in from Twitter and LinkedIn quite a bit. So the more active and the more presence that you have there, it definitely helps. So if you're freelancing or an agency or you're looking for a client, being active on both of those platforms will help you find them. And if you're just like searching keywords and whatnot, that helps too. Even if you like search for find free app developer, you'll get a bunch of posts that have that app developer in the text. So, but I think this is maybe this will help somebody. I'm sure, like if I'm struggling to think of what to tweet about, I don't know how. Maybe it's because I haven't adopted the mindset of like just like doing what KP is suggesting here. It seems like I have to think about what I want to say, and that usually comes off a little like I'm forcing it. But when I just have something in my mind and I'm just like, let me tweet that and see what other people think. Those seem to be the ones that have the best reaction. So the ones that I have to think about too hard, I don't know. For me, that those never really go anywhere. It's more the ones that are simple. It's a very simple thought that boom, throw it on Twitter and then people either agree or disagree, but it gets attention. I don't know. All right, let's go back to the original post here. That was just part of the first one, and I kind of diverged into the templates that he shared. I'll share this too if anyone's interested. I'll put this in the chat. Write 2 to 3 threads a week. So a thread, for those of you that aren't sure, is like this. A thread is kind of like it's a tweet on top of a tweet on top of a tweet. So right, No Code Santiago, the initial tweet was this: 20 companies that you didn't know were created in Bubble, and then each subsequent tweet is another tweet. Oh no, wait. Each subsequent tweet is another link in the thread. I don't know how the hell you say it, but yeah, you just kind of keep going, and these threads tend to get a lot of, like, you can see this tweet did pretty well, 304 likes, 54 retweets. I bookmark it because I think it's an easy way to call out, like, look, when people ask me like, oh, well, what companies are successful on Bubble, I can point to this tweet and it's an easy way. And I probably shouldn't have to point to Twitter to point out Bubble's success stories, but it just isn't easy to find these anywhere else. Bubble has like 4 listed on the website. And people want to see, like, a lot of people who are just getting into Bubble and wondering if they want to take the time to learn it, they want to see some success stories. So this is the best list that I've found. So thank you Santiago for putting this list together, because I use it quite often. It's very helpful. Please don't delete that tweet. It's one of my favorite tweets. Here. So writing 2 threads a week. Threads allow you to practice building a story and narrative. Most people assume they have nothing interesting to share. This is untrue. This is smart right here. You're not living a boring life. You're being a dull storyteller. So that's something that I'm like, is anybody going to be interested in what I'm saying? But like, this is a great thing to live by here. You're not living a boring life. You're being a dull storyteller. When you challenge yourself to publish long-form threads in Twitter, you're forced to learn the ingredients of storytelling, like a powerful opening line, a punchy, clear, and simple phrasing, expressing emotions through words, tapping into people's curiosity and building suspense, bringing value to the reader. Twitter's algorithm rewards tweets in a disproportionate way, like Instagram does for Reels and YouTube has been doing for Shorts. Yeah, that's true. Threads is a reliable way to grow your core audience. It doesn't just use gimmicks or traps. Just study what's working and write the kinds of threads you'd be impressed as a reader. That's good advice. Answer questions under bigger accounts. In the early days, it can feel like you're tweeting into the void. This used to frustrate me because I felt like I was producing high-quality content. Because I didn't have enough daily attention, my work was underappreciated. The way to fix this is to go to places where there's an abundance of attention. Not many leverage this powerful technique, but if you follow or turn on notifications, big accounts in your niche, and simply bring value to their threads or tweets through your replies, you will gain non-trivial amounts of followers each day. Wow. Not many leverage this powerful technique, but if you follow or turn on notifications, big accounts in your niche, and simply bring value to their threads or tweets, you'll get, okay, that's cool. That's good to know. That one I didn't know. I'm going to think about that. I've personally done this several times and it works. Just make sure you don't come off as desperate or too thirsty, which means that you have to write with a sense of authenticity and truly wanting to add value to the conversation. Cool. Yeah. I feel like that's always what you should be doing. I've fallen into the trap of just tweeting for the sake of tweeting, and I don't like the results. It felt like work, and that's why I probably didn't stick with it. And when it feels like work, you just don't want to do it. And like I was tweeting for just to like have more people be looking at the profile, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel authentic, and it doesn't feel. It does have some visible effect on the analytics if you check out your tweet analytics page. It did, like, the profile visits were more, and the follower count kind of did like see a little bit of a spike, but I don't know. I don't think it's sustainable because it just wasn't. I felt like I wasn't really doing it from the heart. It just felt more like a job, and I can't stick with that for very long. I did it maybe for like, I was doing 3 tweets a day for like maybe like a month, and after that it kind of fell off. So I don't know. Maybe if I should have stuck with that, or just like maybe the content direction that I was going in was a little misguided. But maybe I got to bring that back with using the template that he laid out in the other post. It's possible. Asking helpful question. I did that one. Turn your most performing tweet each week into a thread. Dickie Bush is one. Okay, so you put out the smaller kind of nugget, one tweet, and then that one gets a lot of attention. You elaborate on that and turn it into a tweet. Makes sense. At least you're kind of testing which concepts that people want more of. Dickie Bush is one of my favorite creators who leverages this technique really well. He often shares this advice as well. The open secret is most threads I write or Dickie writes have been tested a few weeks prior as one-off tweets. There was an immense response from the audience. A new idea expressed one-off tweet. You now have de-risked and can turn that into a long-form thread. Basically, after spending 2 hours writing a thread that may or may not mean much to your audience, ship new ideas, hunches, and one-off tweets, and look for resonance. Your audience will guide you on what's resonating with them, and that should inform your long-term form thread strategy. This is a very smart, underrated tactic that I've only learned recently. All right. Good to know. I feel like I'm downloading a lot of information from KP here. Writing threads featuring bigger accounts celebrating their work. Write threads featuring bigger accounts celebrating their work. This tip is tricky. This tip is a tricky one because it's very, very easy to overdo this method, and many actually do. However, when done in moderation, this is a powerful tactic that can do wonders in building up your audience base. You create a thread that features highlights of a set of 10 to 15 top big accounts. newsletter writers, YouTube creators, bootstrap founders, and shine a light on their work. This curated thread will perform well because many of the mentioned accounts will want to share it with their audience. This has proven to boost followers when done well. DM people whose content moves you and start a relationship. One of the proudest achievements of my Twitter journey isn't that the 37,000 followers. I thought he said 34. It's the 40 to 50 close friends and relationships that were formed due to my content and tweets. That's very true. That's very true. Like I've built relationships, actual relationships with people on Twitter. I've never met them in person. I've only met them over like Zoom calls and Google Meets. But it's really true. Like you can actually like meet working relationships through Twitter. I have absolutely done that. It's actually the only way that I like most of the business referrals that I get have come through Twitter and LinkedIn. But definitely like just being in the space and speaking to the same people over and over again and seeing the same tweets from them, you really start to feel like you get to know these people and know how they think, and it does definitely feel like a hangout. I went from being a nobody in tech with zero network and networking skills to be a part of a very bright, vibrant, thriving, abundant circle of ballers and founders. Those who once were my icons are now my peers. The feeling is unreal. Many of these people were strangers with whom I just sent a DM and struck up a conversation because they saw my work day to day, became friendly, and helped them in a small and big ways, and they constantly returned the favor. Note, in your first DM, don't ask for the favor instantly. Just appreciate them and offer your compliment or suggestion on the content. If they're busy, be patient. Have a great bio. Most people suck at Twitter bios. I don't even know if I have a Twitter bio. What's a Twitter bio? This? Like the top here? Edit profile. Oh, yeah, I need a better bio. Look at that. Hey, it's my birthday. This is not a judgment on the character or on the ability to add value. It's just that they don't give this piece of their online presence any care or attention, partly due to laziness or innocent ignorance. Honestly, yeah, probably ignorance. I had never even thought about putting anything into my Twitter bio. But unfortunately, your bio is your digital first impression. It's important to make a strong impression if you care to begin an audience in the long run. Your bio should be a bat signal to attract thousands of others like you. I discussed that in detail in the thread below. Bonus tip, be extremely patient and be obsessed with the habits and ecosystems, not results. It took me 2 years to build an audience of 3K, and it took me 2 months to double it. Damn, that's wild. These things are unpredictable and take time. Be the kind of person for whom 3,000 followers are inevitable. This is the only lasting hack. Finally, do it for the fun, for the transformation with intrinsic motivation, not with a sense of desperation for results and outcomes. You can't control them. That's good advice. Would you really take 5 seconds and pay it forward and help someone else by sharing this tips and article and tag me on this? Feel free to DM me for promotional and sponsorships. All right. How do I do this? And pay it forward to help someone else leverage these tips by sharing this article on LinkedIn and tag me. Can't speak. I wish I could just. Can I tweet this? I can tweet this, right? Tweet, great insight at KP for growing. I feel like these insights are true, whether you have 0 followers, 20 followers, 3,000 followers. I feel like anyone should be taking this advice on the information that they're putting out on Twitter. It just seems like this would work at any level. It's not just 0 to 3,000. It's like shouldn't everybody be thinking this way? That's what it seems to me. Great insights from Skip for growing on Twitter. And they'll probably, I don't know how far this is going to go again because it's there's a link here. Maybe you could have said something about that. Like, should I put the link in the comments? I don't know how that works. Whatever. Maybe somebody will get something out of it. I think that's all I'm gonna go. All I'm gonna go today. I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow, or well, yeah, probably tomorrow. I might check out Microsoft Clarity tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, check in and bring some thoughts and comments on what you want to see about that. I'm gonna test it probably in one of my bubble apps. I think that's yeah. What do I have tomorrow? No, I don't have anything tomorrow. I don't have anything tomorrow. So Friday tomorrow is gonna be 1 p.m. No, tomorrow's gonna be 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and I'm gonna check out Microsoft Clarity. Tune in if you're interested. Thanks. I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.